Alright, today I'll be reviewing the gluttonous ace, the devourer of feasts, the terror of all that you can eat buffets. And I'm not talking about myself, Oguri Cap and Crunch. Sorry, Cap. Now in my review I did mention that she stays as a Boro, and I still believe that. However, I would like to elaborate more on that, as I implicated that there might be some people that should consider getting her. Overwhelmingly, Oguri with SSR is a Boro, mostly because of the eventual release of Kitasan Black New Year. While this card will find more use in the future once the field balances out again, Oguri with SSR is exclusively a wild card. If I may, I would like to draw a parallel. When Kitasan Black SSR speed released, she became the gold standard for speed cards, and while good speed cards came, every single one of them had to try to match her. Even during the Track Blazer era, which was the third scenario since release, Kita stays strong, as even with the addition of Machikane Fukukitaru and Narita Top Road, people still use her. It's only been recently that she has taken a bit of a backseat to Tachyon, who will eventually lay back and turn into a really good pace chaser card, as we slowly but surely begin to add specialized cards until Condor Pasa SSR speed releases. So with that in mind, what happened to speed cards will also happen to wheat cards, as we will move further away from the speed wheat meta and eventually start incorporating more power, stamina and gods cards. Furthermore, because Grandmasters will give you wheat alongside the fact that Ramono will release in December, you will have more flexibility on your deck composition. Don't get me wrong, it isn't like you will never run 2 wheat cards, but more along the lines of you will have more flexibility to not have to. In regards to what that would look like, it would be more or less something like this. Just Ramono if you don't require more than the expected weight, Ramono plus a specialized runner card, or Ramono and Fine Motion if you want extra weight. I will say that Oguri SSR weight will be an excellent choice as a secondary option along Ramono if you're running a pace chaser on a medium CM, assuming that you're not running Christmas Oguri, of course. But then again, that is so specific that I can't say that it's worth 60,000 plus carats, only to leave you grinding for months while you miss on more important releases like Narita Blaze, Kita New Year, or Yoroshi's, especially for a card that is max limit break or bust. Don't get me wrong, I would argue that this card will stay relevant even in current JP servers. The thing is, it will also be extremely niche. Now, this is Oguri with SSR post-Ramono. What about pre-Ramono? The current Queen of Wheat training is currently Fine Motion, and frankly, Oguri stands tall against her. Fine Motion has 37.5 friendship effectiveness, and if you remember my analysis for Kris S, then you will remember how this is calculated, but suffice it to say, it's just multiplication of 1.25, which is the regular friendship bonus that the card has on max limit break, and 1.1, which will be the bonus of the unique. Anyway, Oguri with SSR comes with 35% friendship effectiveness, which creates a difference of just 2.5% against Fine Motion. And while she does come short of training effectiveness as well by 5%, Oguri comes with higher specialty priority alongside 2 weight bonus, 1 speed bonus, and better yet, every single skill in her pool is relevant for medium pace chasers. Not to be a prick to the rest of the community, but I would argue that this SSR weight in terms of bonuses is more comparable to Fine Motion than Tokai Teo. So, can Oguri replace Fine Motion? Kind of? Oguri Cap has a lot of really good pace chaser perks like Head On, Nimble Nav, Pace Corners, and Straightaways, skills that you don't really get from Fine Motion, but Speed Start and Prepare to Pass is more universal than Solid Strike. I don't think Oguri or Teo can really replace Fine Motion, but as additions to your deck, I think they're great, as Oguri can help with most pace chaser builds, specializing in medium races, and you can add Teo in case you want Professor Curvature but don't want to run Kitasan Black SSR up to speed. So is there a card that can replace Oguri with SSR? The short answer is no. The long answer is no. Alright, Solid Strike, the thing that everybody was waiting for. It isn't a secret that medium CMs are pretty toxic right now, and the addition of Oguri Cap with SSR is an attempt to alleviate the existence of Christmas Oguri, because even as a fan, and she is indeed one of my Yoshis, it is a little bit disappointing and exhausting to have this many options, cool skills, strategies, only to be forced to use X-Mass Oguri plus 2 debuffers GG easy. Why did I write that like that? Look, even when better and more experienced trainers like Riot have to come out with dedicated retrospective videos about Christmas Oguri, then I don't think it's a hot take to say she's overly oppressive. When you compare the two skills, there are certain differences that you have to be mindful of, as Solid Strike is not quite a copy and paste of Festive Miracle. The first thing that stands out to me is the activation. Festive Miracle only asks that you activate 3 recovery skills and you will trigger it past mid-late race, which makes it great to be manipulated by skills like Uma's Square or 777. In contrast, Solid Strikes has the following conditions. You have to be in a medium race, you have to be pace chasing, can only trigger on the second half of the mid-race, assuming you are in the lead, or close to the lead in Uma, by at least 10 meters. On the other hand, a Solid Strike lasts 3 seconds, whereas Festive Miracle lasts 5 seconds. And Festive Miracle gives you stamina recovery. Now, here's the thing, because while Festive Miracle is better, because you run in another Uma, you can have Solid Strike plus the Uma's Unique, which is a decent attempt to level out the playing field. But does it? Does this skill manage to level out the playing field? Well, kind of. Now look, it is easier to manipulate the activation of Festive Miracle, especially because Miracle does not have the requirement to be near the leading front runner, which can only be made worse if you have a runaway front runner in the lobby. And even then, because the activation is more broad and less likely to be manipulated by the activation of other skills like Festive Miracle, you do not want to put all your chips on this skill. The best advice that I can give you to make this skill work as often as possible would be the following. Build a strong mid-race. Add complementary skills like Killer Tunes or Unstoppable. Make sure you have enough stamina, as with everything else. Bring extra acceleration skills like neck and neck or head on, just in case. Because of the activation of Solid Strike, you will have periods of the race where the activation can be either nice or absolutely world-destroying. This skill will be much better in shorter medium races, like 2 kilometers instead of 2.4 kilometers, because the period of time in which this skill is active is 3 seconds. This is in the context of all the things being equal, by the way. Context is everything with this game. Don't get me wrong, you will get carryover speed almost all the time, but Solid Strike being either nice to have or brutal to compete against will be, at least a little, affected by the length of the race. While Oguri with SSR is a great card coming here to help relieve the toxicity of medium CMs, we will quickly get fucked by the addition of Kitasan Black New Year. And by the way, I don't think I've said this in a video before, but one of the things I messed up in my review of the Umas is that Kitasan Black New Year has current speed in her unique. Let me repeat that. Kitasan Black New Year has current speed and not target speed. Look, I'll be honest, when I saw the comment and I realized that I made a mistake, I initially thought that I was being punked, because surely we can all agree that it's a terrible idea for a healthy meta, especially because the addition of Solid Strike helped alleviate the issue of Christmas Oguri on medium CMs. Look, I don't want this section to be ranting for 30 minutes about Kitasan Black's New Year, because I could absolutely do that and it would be a summary. But also because that would be a little far from the scope of this video. Look, as a general idea, this is a timeline. Christmas Oguri is a monster and you should run her in every single medium CM after her release. Instead of nerfing her, they bring balancing changes, which, fair enough. It doesn't work, so they add more mechanics and skills alongside new cards, including this one. The medium meta finally begins to heal. And then they release Kitasan Black New Year, who has every issue that frontrunners face in a race solved in her kit. Look, to be completely honest, I adore and I seriously appreciate that Cygames doesn't really nerf things, instead it tries to raise the floor of everyone else so that they can compete. I really like that, but after seeing the release of Kita, writing about it, proofreading it, corroborating it, recording, and then editing this line, you might wanna listen to QA more often. The medium meta in the Japanese servers during that time became so toxic that even your ex was impressed. Cygames seems to have released early custom versions of the patches that brought some mechanics that weren't supposed to be released until later, and then things like Spot Struggle, Fully Charged. So maybe they can bring a few extra balancing mechanics early as well, like stamina contests or repositioning, as Kita Kid is based off of her putting everyone else out of position and creating a significant lead so they can't catch up to her. Look, overall, we have it better than the Japanese servers, and we're getting free pulls for Kita New Year anyway, so who knows? Maybe we only have to endure 1 or 2 toxic medium CMs before things start to balance again, or maybe I've just been reading so many Japanese websites that I am more scared than I should be. Oh, Daijoubu Sensei, iki usarete nai kara. Oh god. I'll leave a link to the description about some of the Japanese players, saying that she was already broken at release in case you're interested. When will Oguri Cup SSR Wheat will have the opportunity to shine? After Oguri Cup Wheat SSR releases in September 9, we will be scheduled to have the Scorpion Cup 10 days later. This race will be run in Kyoto, marking at 2.2 kilometers, counterclockwise and in autumn. The beauty of this track is that we will be in a meteor track before Kitasan Black New Year, meaning that this will be the best opportunity for Solid Strike to shine. Will it be broken? No. Will it be more consistent than Festive Miracle? Well, also no, but it will balance the battlefield. You will see more pace chasers being built off of skills like Determined Descent and Solid Strike, so this CM will be much less toxic and more interesting. Will Christmas Oguri be there? Absolutely, but at least there should be more variety and better opportunities to counter her. By the time the Pisces Cup comes around, Kitasan Black New Year will be released, so this car will be less likely to be useful. It will be a 2 kilometer track, but the competition will be a lot more intense.